Are anxiety and depression the same? It seems logical that anxiety and depression are two different things. Anxiety being fearful and worried, whilst depression is feeling miserable. However, they are in fact interestingly similar. And in this article, we're going to have a look at some of the similarities and differences, both in the way they develop and in the way that they're cured. My name's Emma Triplett, and I'm a hypnotherapist and psychotherapist, and I've been helping people with anxiety and depression disorders for 9 years. So, first of all, let's have a look at how they develop. Both anxiety and depression are the result of negative thinking, causing your mind, which doesn't know the difference between imagination and reality, to believe there is some sort of crisis, emergency, or danger in your life. In the case of anxiety, that negative thinking comes in the form of worrying and what-ifing about the future, using your imagination to negatively predict bad things are going to happen. In contrast, depression usually comes from negatively introspecting about yourself, your life, even your past. Again, hijacking your imagination to conjure up things that aren't real, perhaps attempting to figure out what other people are thinking or why they did or said the things they did. Of course, we can be negative about both the future and the past, which is why anxiety and depression coexist in so many people. Although anxiety and depression are the same, and that they come from negative thinking, how they affect the chemicals in your body and mind differ. Worrying about the future will create two significant stress hormones, adrenaline and cortisol, preparing for fight or flight. Adrenaline you probably recognised, while cortisol, although less physically apparent when your system is being flooded with it, can create a status in your body called a positive feedback loop, explained in the article Where Does Anxiety Come From?, which becomes chronic, causing more anxiety. On the other hand, depression just creates cortisol, giving the impression that there is a long-term crisis, so you must hide inside your cave until the danger passes. How they feel also differs. Anxiety feels fearful. You can feel it in the pit of your stomach, that's the adrenaline. And often there are physical symptoms, such as a tight chest or difficulties breathing, increased heart rate, neck, shoulder, back tension and tightness, headaches, and it often affects your digestive system and bowels. Whilst depression feels miserable, as if there's no hope, nothing works, no one is interested in you or cares, and you have no motivation, and you just want to disappear under the duvet and push the world away. Curing anxiety and depression, because they are so similar, both coming from negative thinking, is strikingly similar. Positive thinking. This will directly counteract the negative thinking, and it's worth investing some time in both understanding what negative thinking is. It might not always be as obvious as you think, and then learn how to think in a positive way and develop some strategies that will help to nudge you back to thinking positively when you've lapsed. Anxiety and depression don't develop overnight. They come from years of negative thinking. So you have to first become aware that you're doing it and then practice thinking in a positive way. Positive activity. This includes both physical activity as well as doing hobbies, ticking items off your to-do list, and is particularly important for people with depression, as they will slowly do less and less as the depression develops. And positive interaction, important for both anxiety and depression. Spend time with people you enjoy being with, having a laugh, taking you outside your own thoughts for a while. In both conditions, as they develop, there is a tendency to withdraw from other people. However, we need to be with others, even if you think you don't want to right now. So say yes to invitations instead of thinking of ways to get out of social events. Both anxiety and depression will benefit from the three positives above, but they also differ slightly. People with anxiety will be constantly on the go, filling their life with distracting things to do. Paradoxically, this being on the go all the time as a way of coping with anxiety is making the mind believe there is some sort of crisis, emergency or danger. It's not natural to be doing stuff all the time. slow down, take time out, have less packed into your diary, and learn how to relax and to be in the moment without thinking of what else you have to do next. Your system needs to slow down in order to switch off this feedback loop, which is causing the condition. Conversely, people with depression need to do more, doing little things that they are pleased about having achieved, and exercise will have an enormous beneficial effect for people with depression. But start slowly. It's not all or nothing. You don't have to go out and run a marathon straight away. So in summary, anxiety and depression are the same in that they're caused by negative thinking. And it's easy to develop both when you have the tendency to think in a negative way, negatively forecasting the future and negatively introspecting about the past. But unfortunately, both will be helped by learning how to think in a positive way, act in a positive way, and interact in a positive way. If you would like to get these tips automatically, or if you're suffering from anxiety or depression and want to learn more about it, hit the subscribe below and turn on the notifications. See you next time.